Let's talk about your identity. What does identity mean? You know, I'm seeing more and more people, teachers, authors, experts talk about the importance of changing your identity. I mean, gosh, Tony Robbins was talking about that 30 years ago. But what does it mean? Or maybe I just didn't get what it meant. Or maybe people weren't explaining it right. No shade on Tony, because he's the man, right? But a lot of times what I've heard, and I know in my own books, I have actually said this too, is think about the version of you who has what she wants or he wants. And then ask yourself, what would that person do? What would that person do today? Would they exercise? Would they eat differently? But what's occurred to me over time is that the minute we ask those questions, and it's okay to ask those questions, to be clear, but the minute we bring those questions back to us here in the 3D and we say, well, that person would be exercising today, but I don't feel like it. My dog feels like coming and visiting and checking things out. But here's the thing. If we are trying to do something right here, right now, because we feel that the version of ourselves who already is living the vision that we want to manifest, that we want to create, there's a gap. It's the 3D gap. It's the, my mind says I want this, but my body says nope. And here's why this is so important. And we know this. We know this through not just quantum science. We know this through neuroscience. We know it through epigenetics. When you're envisioning your vision, so when you're meta-creating, when you're planning the version of you that you want to be, you have to embody it emotionally. So I'm sitting here in my chair and I close my eyes. Maybe I do reduce brain waves and I listen to my tones and I see this version of me who has all the things that I would love to have, is living her best life, right? Which I feel like I am, but as an example. And my body in the 3D is experiencing what my mind is experiencing in the 5D. And this is the key that I don't think enough teachers talk about. And it took me forever to really embrace it and grasp it and apply it and prove it. So when you're sitting here in your 3-dimension world and you take your mind there in the 5th dimension, across the bridge of the 4th dimension into the 5th dimension where all of your reality that you want is already there. There's a version of you already living that. The first thing you have to remember is now is all there is. That is an absolute scientific standard. Time is not linear. We make clock time in our own human minds. So when I create that reality that I want in that 5D, I have to feel it with such intensity that my body, I'm talking subconscious, unconscious, biology, talking energy systems, chakras, the whole caboodle, kit and caboodle, is saying, oh, this is who we are. Oh, this is how we feel. Oh, this is it. Now, the body follows the mind. So once I've embraced that feeling and felt it enough times, I don't mean like 500. I just mean deeply enough, feeling it enough. Now the body will follow the mind. So then from that place, I open my eyes and I realize that now is all there is. That if I just experience that with my eyes closed to such a degree that it filled my body up with those emotions of joy and excitement and gratitude, I have experienced it in the quantum field. And now is all there is. So I got to just take a little quick speed dial road trip across the quantum bridge and got to live for a few minutes in that version of me. I don't come back and open my eyes and go, God, same old, same old. No. I'm bringing that emotion into this body in the third dimension, and I'm living in it and I'm feeling it. And from this place of being, this state of being, this emotional level of living, I say, okay, what's that version of me doing right now? Oh, she's going to the gym. I'm not going to go, oh, I don't feel like it, if I've done it right. And that's what I think so many people are missing, is that we're not doing it fully enough. And I'm going to talk a little bit in this video about why I think that is. But I just really want you to embrace that you are going, and I don't have a diagram. I have a diagram that I show in my coaching club. But the diagram is just, here's the 5D, here's the 3D. So here's where you are right now, living, breathing, walking, working, brushing your teeth. And there's the 5D. You're still doing all that stuff. This is a mistake a lot of us make, is we think, when I enter this, I'm going to be just lounging on a beach somewhere, and I'm not going to have any troubles in my life, and it's just going to be lovely. You have to bring that feeling of loveliness here and understand that you're still in the third dimension no matter what. You're still going to have backed up traffic. You're still going to have people who make nasty comments. You're still going to have politicians that you don't like. You're still going to have in-law that irks you. The difference is you're not going to give it your attention. You're not going to give it your energy. You're not going to give it more than 2 seconds of a thought, because you know that you have the ability to create whatever you want. Why bother with the menial, nominal, not even important stuff that right now we're allowing all that real estate in our mind and our heart that's keeping us from what we want to create? Crazy, right? So you plan what you want. You have the vision of what you want, but you have to experience it here and now. In the here and now, that's a different dimension, lovingly referred to as the fifth dimension. Now, I only understand and operate in the fourth and fifth dimensions. There are supposedly, according to science, there are 33. And it sounds really crazy when you think about it, because you're like, well, where are they? They must be out in space. That is our human linear thinking, that our propensity to think, oh, the quantum field's out there. And I always point, because that's how we think. But it's right here, right now. Now is all there is. So let's just say, for example, and this is just for kicks, I'm saying this, if there are aliens, and of course there are, because why would we have this entirely huge universe and we're just a little tiny part of one galaxy and be the only living? I mean, come on, that's just ridiculous. But anyway, they're not out in space. They're right here with us now, wherever now is. And I'm not going to get into, I don't understand enough to get into cosmology and say, well, yeah, but if you went to another galaxy, blah, 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 because we don't have the science to support it right now. So it makes no sense to hypothesize. And there are scientists who are paid to hypothesize. I am not one of them. I have enough to worry about and plan here in the first, third, fourth, and fifth dimension. So I don't worry about that stuff. But what I'm telling you, another example, and then we're going to move on, is when someone passes away. Now, I am not here to ruffle any feathers or to upset anyone's personal, private beliefs. But I don't believe that they're over there in heaven somewhere or wherever they are. I believe they're right here, right now, but it's on a different dimension. So with our limited, confined sight of vision and hearing and sense, that is why, I mean, come on, how many people talk to the dead, right? It's absolutely doable. There are too many thousands of people who have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt. You know, look at the TV stars, like, what is his name? Tyler. And I've had psychic readings. I mean, these people know something and they didn't read it on Facebook, right? So of course, they just have the ability to tap in to a different dimension, a higher dimension. And I just want to say that although, I'm just going to throw a number out there and I hate to do that, but I'm just going to say probably about 80% of these people had near-death experiences. That could be wrong, but just to give you an idea of all the studying I've done, near-death experiences. I'm not up for that. I don't want to almost die, so I'll skip it this time, right? But some of them are born with it. Like my mom was born psychic. Like when she was 3, she remembers seeing her dead grandmother walk through the house, and the grandmother was already dead. Like kids don't make that stuff up, right? I think my grandson is very psychic also. And so is my daughter, and so am I. But anyway, point being that, of course, other things are going on in other dimensions, but we just think that what we see and hear is what's going on. So I went off on this trail just to explain to you that your imagination and your emotion, those two things are what God has given you to create what you want to create. Like Jesus didn't just say, the kingdom of heaven is within, because he wanted you to, I don't know, have a party with yourself. The reason Jesus said that, and the reason every single spiritual master and avatar and self-help guru who really gets it has been saying it's inside, is because this is our tool. This is the gift that the infinite intelligence has given us to create in different dimensions. But we are so certain that this is all there is. So we're like, oh, bummer, I have to pay taxes today. Oh, that sucks, blah, blah, blah. Now, I can't tell you, and I've said it in other videos, but the science doesn't say this is why we're here on planet Earth. I believe we're here on planet Earth so that we can have these experiences. We can learn to get really mad at someone and forgive them. We can learn to appreciate what we have because we're going to lose it sometime, right? This is like a soul contract. Whatever, wherever you're born, whatever you're doing, you chose this. But that does not mean that you cannot expedite the things that you want to create in your life because you have free will, and that you cannot create more joyful things. And I will tell you right now, even though most everyone I work with thinks they want more money, and it's okay, and I can work with that. At the end of the day, you want purpose. And you want connection, and you want contribution. You want to give. And so whenever someone comes to me with a vision and it doesn't include a component of giving back or living on purpose and doing something that your soul really calls you to do, it's not going to be as effective, because money is ephemeral. Money just comes and goes. It's paper. Hello. It's numbers on your screen. And for those of us who think money holds us back, oh, I got to do a whole video on that. I won't even go down that rabbit hole right now. Okay, so back to our identity thing. You get to decide the identity that you want to have now. Go in your imagination, use your emotions, figure it out, write it down, think about it all the time, and experience it every day, every day, every day. Nobody says you don't get to have that identity right now. No, you do not get to feel like you are a multimillionaire right now. Don't you dare do it. That's not a thing. You get to feel it right now. You are the only one that's stopping you from feeling it right now. Like I wake every morning and I'm like a world famous author and a multimillionaire. Nobody can take that from me. Nobody can take that from me. You could stick me in a box in a cell and say, you can't feel like that anymore. I'd be like, oh, yes, I can. Do you get that? So assuming the identity, like as Neville Goddard said, of the wish fulfilled, assuming the emotion of the wish fulfilled, that's on you every day, and you get to do it anytime you want. So hopefully you found this inspiring. I hope you have a beautiful day, and we will talk to you next time. Bye-bye for now.